Good afternoon, everybody. This is Danielle. Well, it's almost afternoon. This is Danielle Ralston from Be Boss Girl and Not Your Pinterest Mom. Yes, you'll notice I've got two names there now. I'm really expanding what we're doing around here at Be Boss Girl and Not Your Pinterest Mom and the Rockstar CEO, and bringing all of the brands together under one umbrella. So today I'm talking about how to beat overwhelm. So we all know about how to beat burnout. I talked about that last week, how to beat burnout in your business and how to plan things and be able to get ahead of things. So how do you deal with overwhelm in your life? So as women, we are wearing 9,000 hats. As women who own businesses, we're wearing an extra 10,000 hats. So we've got 20,000 hats going at all times. We're the chief cook, bottle washer, CEO, boss girl, hustle girl, whatever you want to call us. Some of us are single moms. Some of us are married, but dealing with a whole entire family. Whatever that is, we all have overwhelm. I don't care where you are in your journey or what you're doing. We are all overwhelmed, especially over the last year or so between the pandemic and work from home and school from home and remote schooling and all of that. Everybody's overwhelmed. I don't care if you're single, married, have kids, don't have kids, whatever, we're overwhelmed. So how do you overcome that and how do you beat the overwhelm in your life? So there are some really simple tips, and some of these I've given you guys with other times that I've talked. One, stop trying to remember to do things. Make lists. A list, one place for one list, is essential. It's one of the big things about getting things out of your head. Part of why we get overwhelmed is because our brain is too overtaxed. So how do we do that? So Becca Branham, who is a Stand Out Online member, and she talks to you guys often, talks about the 5-5-7. I'm going to get it wrong. So Becca, excuse me if I get this wrong, but the 5-5-7. Breathe in for 5, hold for 5, let it out for 7 seconds. And do that repeatedly. That goes a long way for health reasons, oxygenating your body, giving your brain the oxygen it needs, helping to calm you, helping to calm your heart rate. So it has physical reactions, but it also gives you a second to pause. It gives your brain a minute to just take a break. Breathe in, hold for 5 seconds, let out for 7 seconds. And doing this for just a minute. All it takes is a minute to start to break up that overwhelm and that sense of panic that you're having. I don't care what's going on. I don't care if your kid has just stuck something up their nose, a client is flipping out on you because they think you haven't done something on time, the phone is ringing, the dishwasher's going, the doorbell's going, whatever it is. Take 15 seconds even, 20 seconds, and breathe. That goes a long way. Now, I have an app on my watch, and it actually just went off again, that encourages me to take a minute and breathe because I often forget that. So I have a reminder every hour to do that for 1 minute. That only gives me like 2 or 3 cycles of that breathe in, hold, breathe out, but that goes so far into resetting me each time. Again, get things out of your head. Your brain is overwhelmed. So we're calming your brain by breathing. That's number 1. Number 2, get it out of your head. Have one place to put lists. Use Alexa, use Siri, use a notebook and a piece of pen, use a whiteboard. I have 5 whiteboards in my office and I'm about to get a couple more. Find the thing in the place, the one place to write down your ideas. If you're an ADHD entrepreneur like me, you constantly have ideas going on, and I have a specific place and it's got Post-it notes all over it. It's a small whiteboard with Post-it notes all over it that my ideas go on. As I have an idea, I write it on a Post-it note and I stick it up there. But once or twice a week, I look at my idea list and I pull a couple things off to put into my schedule of things to do. But that gets it out of my head. Getting it out of my head so my brain isn't cluttered. That is a big way to be overwhelmed. If you have things to do. And that's why a lot of us, and if you are a successful entrepreneur, I can almost guarantee that, especially if you're a six-figure business owner or above, we all take the time to plan. I plan my week, I plan my month, I plan my year. I have like 6 stages to my planning every single week. I plan my meals, I plan my cleaning schedule, my laundry schedule, I plan private time with my husband, whether that's date night or other things. I plan everything. And when I do that, that also removes overwhelm for me and for my life because I've taken the time to plan. My planning time, I tell you, I've got about 6 stages to planning. It takes me a max an hour a week. And then I have another 3 hours a month I spend on major business planning and planning all my meals for the month and all of those things. You could check that out over my Pinterest channel, or excuse me, my YouTube channel if you want, about planning meals and some of the best things that I do to plan meals and make that super easy. I don't have to think about anything that I do every day because I already have a plan in place. When I break everything down and I sit down to write down my plan, I like to handwrite, so everything goes in a journal or a notebook. And I flip-flop between bullet journals and actual planners, and I have a planner addiction. But as long as I get it all planned out and I stick to it for the whole week, I don't have any thinking time that goes into what I have to do, especially for client work or cleaning my house. I have everything written down. Every step is processed out. Why do I have everything processed out? So my brain doesn't have to do any more work. So I can leave my brain for the important things. When I'm stressed out or overwhelmed about something else, my brain has room to do that, which means I do not get burnt out. I don't burn out because I keep myself clean and my brain empty and ready to deal with those things that can create that. Making sure that you're taking the time to really concentrate and do those things goes a long way to keeping you from getting overwhelmed. And yes, if you're already busy, thinking about taking the time to plan just seems like an extra thing that you shouldn't do. Some things that doing my planning does for me, it saves me money. I spend less money in my grocery shopping and eating out last minute and all of those things because I plan. I spend less money on covering mistakes and having to refund clients because I've planned. I spend less time dealing with clients that I hate and I don't want to work with because I've taken the time to invest in and know whether I want to work with those clients because I have a plan for working with clients. I have processes and procedures for everything. I have processes for picking clients, so I know who my ideal client is. So I don't end up with those terrible clients very often. We all do. We've all ended up with those terrible clients. We all know what that means. But that leaves less time for overwhelm. I know where I am going and what I am doing next. There's no analysis paralysis when it comes to that. So I moved into a 2,700 and something square foot house in December. And we had a 1,800, 1,500 square foot house that we moved from, and everything had been in boxes for 6 months. I got probably 75% of those boxes unpacked in less than a week. Why? Because I had a plan and I had labeled everything and I planned everything out ahead of time. That planning in my life is huge. So what happens if I do hit overwhelm in my life? Journal. I have very strong mindset practices, and I am a mindset coach, so I talk about that often. Mindset is everything. So if I have a plan, my mindset is that of being ahead of things and keeping things in order. Chaos still happens. Chaos always still happens. I mean, look at 2020 and 2021 so far. Chaos happens. So how do I deal with that chaos when it does happen? I have a mindset practice. I spend time in prayer. I am a conservative Christian. Yes, it's going to turn a lot of people off and I'm going to get attacked for that. I don't care. But I'm a conservative Christian. So I spend time in Bible study in prayer every single morning. I only spend about 20 minutes a day, but that gives me a mindset of positivity every morning. And I have a purpose to my day when I do that. Then I have a plan. I have a morning routine that I stick to. That when you read all of those books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and all of that, I've spent a lot of time studying those things and I geek out about that stuff. But having that morning routine is huge. I have a morning routine. Part of my morning routine is I spend an hour sitting on my couch cuddling with my puppy. I work from my phone, but that is my dedicated time to watch TikToks, to go through Instagram stories, to engage on those things. But I cuddle with my puppy in the morning. Let me tell you, the serotonin levels that get elevated because I cuddle with my puppy for an hour a day. Now, when my son was young, I played with my son and I did things with him. But find that thing to relax and move into your day, but have a routine. Having a dedicated routine that you stick to keeps the overwhelm out of your life. I have a dedicated routine for how I make dinner and what the process is for that. And again, I plan all of my meals ahead of time. That keeps that part of overwhelm in my life. So I was doing research I built a new 30-day meal planning system and that I have on my website. And I did a video about it. And in that and all that research, I learned that people spend $2,000 a year on food that they throw out. And then they spend another $2,000 to $5,000 a year of every family on eating out in an emergency because they didn't plan dinner or something happened. So I know what I spend because I track everything. So I'm a geek on analytics and tracking things. I spend less than $1,500 a year on eating out. That includes birthday meals, anniversary meals, all of that. I don't spend that much on eating out. We eat at home and we eat well at home. And my budget is only $75 a week for 3 adults and a dog and all of my cleaning products. Because I'm not overwhelmed, I can take the time to do that. And I can plan your plan to better evaluate your plan, to better prioritize your plan so your plan is well planned. Everything I do for a client is planned out and project tasked out. By doing that, you are creating systems in your life. Am I perfect? No, I'm far from perfect. But I keep the overwhelm and make it less and less in my life, which means I have less toxic relationships that I'm dealing with because we get into bad relationships with clients and people, friends, whatever, when we don't plan and we don't have a process to deal with those things. And if you don't have the brain space to deal with those things, they become more toxic because you are in a negative mindset. So having positive mindset practices. Again, I pray. I spend time with my puppy every morning cuddling on the couch. I read my Bible. I also journal, and my journal prompts are not necessarily conservative Christian journal prompts. Today, I wrote about the person that I wished I could be in a year. Who do I want to look like in a year? But I have that as a daily practice. I journal probably for 15, 20 minutes a day. I don't spend long on any of these things, but it keeps me in the right mindset to be internally evaluating myself. I reevaluate the end of the day. What went well today? What didn't I get done on my to-do list? And I have days, I'm ADHD. I have days I don't get anything done. That happens. But because I have a plan in place, it's not panic at the end of the week when I don't get things done. I can slide in. I've got a plan. I've got everything written out so I don't have to think when I do get into those modes where I have a really hard time processing and doing things. And I'm able to jump in when I am able to and get ahead. Planning. The other part of planning that really helps me is in my marketing for my business. I've got almost all of 2021's marketing completely done for 3 businesses. Because I planned ahead. I write my topics ahead. I schedule things out ahead. All of those things. Like I've known what I was going to talk about for the last 2 months here on Women Helping Women. I had that all planned out. I try to keep things as regimented as possible. It's not always possible to do that, but when I do that, I'm more successful in my business. I don't struggle to find leads because I have a process for that. I'm not in the process of always looking for something and panicking because I lost a client, so now I need more. I mean, I lost 14 clients last April, May, whatever that was, because of COVID. And I was able to recover very quickly. Now, my business hasn't been doing as well in the last year as I did previous. In 2019, I did really, really well. 2020, I did good. And I've had some ups and downs because of COVID. Every small business has. But I'm still growing. I'm not losing my business. I'm not closing my doors. I've been around a long time now. I'm past that 3-year mark. Actually, I'm past that 5-year mark, I think. This year, I'll be past that 5-year mark of that 75% of businesses close in the first 3 years and then another 50% close in the first 5 years. I'm past those things. I know my business is doing well and going to sustain. I have multiple streams of income and different things I'm doing because I have a plan to beat the overwhelm in my life, to keep myself from going into panic mode all the time. Again, ADHD, I have to keep myself out of panic mode. So how are you keeping yourself out of panic mode today? How are you trying to beat the overwhelm? So I have the ability to help you with this. Free tips all day long, every day. How to clean, how to budget, how to plan your meals, how to plan for your business, how to get ahead in your business, how to do your marketing, all of that. I have a new community over on Mighty Networks that I will be dropping a link to below for you. Come on over, join us. If you're a mom, even if you're an older mom, I'm a mom of a 23-year-old, so I'm still a mom. I'm a puppy mom. Come on over and join us over on Mighty Networks. We're having some good conversations. We just got started, but I want you to find how to beat the overwhelm in your life. If you're overwhelmed and struggling with a certain area, let me know. I'm sure I have a tip, or I know Becca Branham has an amazing tip to help you beat some overwhelm. I know Amy Boswinkle, who's here in Women Helping Women, can help you. There are so many amazing and strong women who can help you beat the overwhelm in your life. It's not just me. I know I'm not the only one who talks about this stuff. Becca Branham is amazing. She's my life coach and health coach. Amy Boswinkle is amazing at helping with all of this. Find the people who can help you beat the overwhelm in your life. My structure may not work for you, but I have an accountability coach. Yes, even me who has that structure has an accountability coach. Sandra Brooks, she is amazing. She helps me stay on track when I'm having a hard time. Sometimes we all need that extra help. So find that accountability, find that person that you can follow, even if you troll them in the background and don't necessarily pay them to help you, you could still follow them. I'm sure they can still help you. If you have any questions or you need a person to help you and you're having a hard time finding that person to help you, let me know. I have been around on the online communities for a long time. I probably know them. I can send you right to them. Follow me on my Pinterest, my YouTube channel, on Mighty Networks, here on Facebook. I'm all over the place. I hope that you guys have an amazing day. You can figure out how to beat the overwhelm, find what works best for you in your business, in your personal life, everything. You can beat the overwhelm, I promise. You can keep from having burnout. Just remember that you need to figure out how to rise strong and become limitless in all you do, because it is possible. I am a complete and total reflection of that. Have a great day, everybody.